Welcome back to another video on my channel, Moody Still Groovy. I'm Nick, and this channel is dedicated to raising awareness for stigmatized mental illnesses such as bipolar disorder, PTSD, trauma, the works. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my last two. This video is going to be more personal and not really educational, in the sense of I'm not going to be giving you guys facts and statistics. There's no sources used or sites used in this video. This is all an experience of my own, and I guess more of a story time. So if you are interested in getting educated on mental illnesses, I would recommend checking out my first video, which will be up here, which goes into bipolar disorder, or my last video about the relation between bipolar disorder and substance use disorder. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing about recovery and treatment and what it's like. I said when I started this channel that I was going to show the highs and the lows, and this has been a rough week. I'm recording this video way later than I normally would, so thank you, me. I have a lot of editing to do. But so I guess to start off, my treatment journey began when I was 15. That was my first hospitalization and my first residential treatment. I went to locations in Southern California, and I missed pretty much the second half of my junior year of high school, and I was so mentally ill that I had kind of failed most of the junior year anyways that I had completed. So, I was maybe 16 then, actually, if I think back. Sorry, time is weird, and I have a really poor perception of it. But anyways, so treatment is rocky, and I have a history with it, obviously. I've been hospitalized periodically a few times since then. I think I'm at like 7 hospitalizations. I don't really know because some I don't fully remember. So clearly I have had a history with treatment that spans back a little bit. And now as an adult, I have made the decisions myself to continue to seek out treatment. As I mentioned in my previous video, I had a substance problem, or have. Once you're an addict, you're always an addict. But I had this scary incident in December of last year, and it really woke me up. I had been hospitalized already that December. I had to spend Christmas in the hospital. It was very... I don't even think there's words to describe what it felt like to be in a psych ward on Christmas. I went to an outpatient program that was connected to that hospital, and about 5 days later, they sent me back. 5150. For those of you who may not know what a 5150 is, it basically means that you're required by law to stay in the hospital for 72 hours. And there's also 5250s, which is up to 2 weeks. So I was sent back to the hospital, and that was my first time in a long time that it wasn't my choice to go. I was pretty angry, and then I realized while I was in there, this kept happening. And I didn't want that to be my life. My life was headed down something kind of dark. And I had the grace and fortune to meet someone at that outpatient who mentioned that they were going to an adult residential facility, and I was surprised. I thought adult residential facilities were only for people suffering from eating disorders, which, not to say I don't have one, however, I didn't realize that there was residentials that weren't solely eating disorders or solely rehab centers, that there were adult residentials that did work on mental health, albeit there's not as many, and there definitely needs to be better access to these things. However, by the fortune and grace I had of meeting that friend I still talk to, I found the program that I'm currently in, and I went kind of ballistic, like balls to the wall in the hospital, truly. I wrote down like all my notes, and I did a bunch of research onto the program, why I thought I needed to be there, how I thought it would benefit me, what my goals were, and I mentioned it. A few days later I had my interview, and then I was here. So when it started off, I definitely think I wanted to be here, and that's a good step. I worked pretty hard. I stayed in 24/7 care facility for about a month, give or take, before I was moved a step down to supportive housing. And it was here that a lot of things kind of went wrong, to say it in the nicest way possible. I made mistakes on my end, and there were definitely some forces out of my control and some reactions that I couldn't control because you can't control people. And I was scared. I had a poor experience with a clinician who I will not name because I don't feel the need to. However, it was not a typical clinician-client relationship. It definitely had a nastier undertone to it that I'm very grateful got stopped when it did. And that's kind of all I'll say on that. However, it was very difficult to have that experience, and I'm still working on it, truly. As well as a lot of falling back into substances. I stopped taking my medication after a while because of the lifestyle that was happening for me at the time, as well as it being my own personal choice. You know, I take accountability that I stopped taking my meds, even though I knew I was bipolar. So to say in the least, mixing those substances, as well as being off my medication and being bipolar and my traumas that I have, it didn't mix well, as well as with the relationships around me that I was a part of. It was just kind of a recipe for disaster, I guess you could say. I also experienced my first flashbacks while I was at supportive housing, and they were very intense, very jarring, alarming, and I began to remember things that I never would have imagined had happened. So everything was building up in intensity and pressure around me, especially as COVID-19 broke out during my time at supportive housing. Quick side note, that'll hopefully be a little happy break from all of my sadness. My roommate made me a mask, and it's super cute. I picked out the colors, so the inside's this really, little baby pink, and the outside is this really pretty brown, like floral and heart design. It very much so fits with like my aesthetic, I guess you could say, and it has little hair ties. It's really cute. I just wanted to say that I really appreciated this, and please be wearing masks if you're going outside. I'm pretty sure there's a simple tutorial to make one of these your own if you're interested. I'll definitely ask my roommate and link that down below. But yeah, wear your mask. And that little interlude's over. But so everything is surmounting against me right now. I'm remembering these crazy traumas, doing substances that I didn't remember doing, because as a result of all this intense pressure, I spiraled into a manic episode as well as a traumatic responsive episode. My psychiatrist here and I decided that that was kind of what happened because the severity of it to the point where like I was blacking out, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Can happen with a mania, but the traumatic response that was also included with that made it 10 times more intense. And I was really struggling a lot because I couldn't talk about a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about. Well, that's kind of a lie. I did talk about all of the things I wanted to talk about, truly. I just chose the wrong person to trust, I guess. But live and learn. And so anyhow, I attempted to overdose. I don't remember this. I do remember asking for help. I'm grateful I did. I was rehospitalized. It was very scary. However, I had a conversation with a clinician here, and there was kind of this analogy that was made of how life throws you little pebbles of maybe little mistakes, things that aren't super disruptive of daily life, and then it throws you a brick. And that brick is your turning point, your moment of, I need to change this. That was my first brick, was the overdose. It was scary. They almost pumped my stomach. Thankfully, what I chose had a short half-life, so I didn't need that to happen. They did do an EKG of my heart, and it was very scary. I don't remember a lot of it, but I'm sure I was scared. When I was in the hospital, I couldn't kind of believe what had happened. After a few days back on the meds, I had that clarity of mind again to realize, oh my gosh, like, that was not me. I can't do that again. And it's kind of the kick in the ass that got me to start this YouTube video. I educated myself upon my disorder much more than I ever had before. I took my treatment beyond seriously. I'm taking it beyond seriously. And yeah, so I came back to the residential facility, and with that brick in mind, I was plowing my way through, determined to get back to supportive so I could do the things I wanted to do and needed to do. I have been doing everything for my mental health because I need it to come first. I need myself to come first for once in my life. That's really hard for me. I'm the one who wants to put everyone else first. So that's when the second brick comes in. And that is FND. I am not going to touch on this too much because it's a whole video, but it stands for Functional Neurological Disorder. It's a trauma response. I had a video session with a neurologist who diagnosed me with it. I have had seizures, I have movements, it's very visible, and the treatment for it is to put yourself first and focus on your trauma, because once you can process your trauma, the FND symptoms can subside or lessen in their severity. So that's all I will say on that. But that's been my second brick, because it is forcing me to focus on me. And the third brick happened this week, and that's what kind of prompted this video. The third brick was I was rejected for supportive housing through this facility. I've felt every emotion about it. I have felt anger, sadness, denial, grief, pain, betrayal, abandonment, and I'm still feeling those things. I got into a deep depression that I'm still in. I picked myself up out of it a little today because I can't give up, even though I really want to. There's people who don't want me to, and even if I can't do it for myself right now, I'll do it for them. And hopefully one day it'll be for me. So right now it's kind of dark in treatment. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to. But hopefully this brick will help me. I've called other residential facilities. I'm doing research into more as well. I I'm looking into other supportive housing options, and I'm applying for my disability with this Social Security, which took forever. But yeah, it's hard treatment. It's not linear. It is a roller coaster that goes up and down and has loop-de-loops and sideways turns and other sideways turns, and it's a roller coaster. And even though I am exhausted and I really want to stop, I can't. I have things to do. So I hope that any of you who are currently going through treatment or are thinking of going through treatment, if it's a rough time, I hope you know that you're not alone. It's okay if you can't do it for yourself always. I know you're supposed to, but if it's doing it for your dog, doing it for your cat, your favorite plant, your friends, your family, do it, because maybe one day it'll be for you. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I will hopefully make an update video. I might even post twice next week. Yeah. Stay safe, you guys, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this more personal video, a little shorter, just kind of getting my thoughts out. Alright, stay safe, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Do what you want to do. And